Z-Dog MD.
Dr. Harry.
Yo, we're here to do the news this time. Check it out.
Yeah, you know, in the past, Z-Dog has really manipulated me into helping to participate in this website of his. I really thought that this was going to be a great opportunity to influence the 13 or 14 viewers that he has. He's gotten me to agree to participate again by allowing me to actually choose the news stories that we're going to do this time. So I was looking through this month's issue of Time magazine, and the cover story is actually a really interesting piece about how the first 9 months shapes the rest of our life.
Naked pregnant lady.
What? Dude, really?
Go on.
Anyway, we all know that the type of people we become and the type of medical problems that we have, etc., are heavily influenced by genetics and the environment that we live in. But there's a lot of evidence that suggests that the environment we are in or in the womb actually may be just as big an influence.
Absolutely, Dr. Harry. That's exactly right.
Obesity, for instance. There have been a number of studies that have shown that moms who have gained excessive weight during their pregnancy are much more likely to have children who become obese.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess what's the point here?
Well, I mean, how much weight did your mom gain while she was pregnant with you?
What kind of question is that? Okay.
Well, I mean,
or what do you? I mean, what are you trying to say about?
You're not exactly thin. Nobody would confuse you with a skinny person. I mean, I'm not. You know, well, no judgment.
How much Chinese food did your mom eat? Because you're not exactly white.
Oh
dear.
That is snap.
Now I'm sorry, I crossed the line. I mean, let's take an adult example. Heart disease. It turns out undernourished kids in the womb tend to have more heart problems as adults, and the theory is that they divert nutrients from the heart to the brain and other essential organs. In my case, the genitals.
What do you?
I mean, can we? Okay.
Are you saying that you? As a fetus, preferentially shunted blood towards your genitals.
All I'm saying is that when I came out, the doctor just basically said, I've never seen anything like this, and he left it at that.
Your mom told me he was pointing at your face. So speaking of alternative influences on childhood obesity, there's actually a very interesting article in this month's issue of Pediatrics, which suggested that some common cold virus could be a direct contributor to obesity in children.
That's right. You catch a cold, you get fat. They took a bunch of obese kids and a bunch of regular kids, and it turns out the obese kids had a higher incidence of having shown evidence of being infected with this virus. So there it is, folks. Obesity as a transmissible infectious disease. We no longer have to blame someone for eating too much. I mean, it's no more my fault that I'm fat than it's your fault for having genital herpes.
Whoa. Did you really just say that? You're not going to use this clip, are you?
I will totally edit it out. Don't worry about it. It's not going on YouTube.
So Z, before we go on, I'd really like to compliment you. We actually did what you said we would. We're talking about real medical news stories that can educate the public, and we're not just choosing articles based purely on their comedic effect. Yeah, and actually, maybe you can choose this next article, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to grab a little something to eat.
Oh, please, just go into the fridge there. Yeah, sure. Okay. So the next article I've chosen is a study I like to call the Dutch oven. Researchers in Amsterdam took a series of people with a common condition, pre-diabetes. They took another series of people who did not have this condition, and they transplanted stool from the people who were healthy into the people with the pre-diabetes.
Really? You're doing the stool transplant story.
Now, I don't want to get into the details of how they transplanted the stool. Suffice it to say, it involved some Tupperware and a tube that went through the nose into the small intestine. Needless to say, the results were fascinating. What they found is that patients who received these stool transplants from healthy people reduced their level of resistance to insulin. Incredible. So why might this work? Well, it turns out that gut flora, the bacteria that live in your gut, happen to have a big influence on our overall health in various ways that we don't yet understand. So, you know, I mean, just think of all the things. If it can cure pre-diabetes, think of all the other things stool transplants might be able to help with.
Herpes? I mean, do you think it could possibly help herpes?
So in any event, I mean, imagine the demand for this product. I mean, organs as it is are hard to get. I mean, we would have stool registries, stool banks. We'd have to click the little thing on our card that says, I will donate stool when I die. And, you know, we used to say, I just dropped the kids off the pool. Now I can say, I made a deposit at the stool bank.
I gave a crap today.
That's the bumper sticker, people. Yeah, you know, with stool curing everything, basically imagine the huge demand for these organ transplants. I mean, there's going to be a black market rising from this. I mean,
that's right.
You know, like the old story with where you wake up and the kidneys are gone in the bathtub. There's going to be people waking up in a bucket full of ice, except this time they're going to feel strangely lighter and less bloated.
Yeah, and there's going to be a sign on your buttocks that says, next time, eat more fiber and ease up on the corn.
Stool is going to be the next big thing. I mean, what I've done already is I have prophylactically frozen my stool because I figure when I'm older and I develop disease, I can have my youthful poo transplanted back into me to save me from whatever it is I've developed. I've actually frozen the stuff and kept it in my freezer wrapped in foil.
What? You said you've kept it in your freezer?
Yeah, I kept it in my freezer right there in the same fridge that you went to get the